Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And in today's video, it's a jam-packed one. We've got the latest when it comes to Micah Hudson and his official visit to Texas being skipped. We've also got CBS record predictions for the Red Raiders, each and every game broken down for a win or loss from them. And then we look at the updated 2024 team rankings when it comes to the recruiting classes. And let's just say, the Red Raiders are in firm position to land a top 25 class. But before we get into today's jam-packed video, hit that sub button and like the video if you're just excited about what's going on in Texas Tech football right now. Legitimately, I think this is the most hype that this fan base has been at least in a decade when it comes to what's going on the field. And then off of it, it may be even longer than that. So be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on Texas Tech football all year long on your one-stop shop for everything Texas Tech. Of course, it's the Back to 12 podcast channel. All right, let's jump into today's update. But before we do, I do want to say this. I talked a little bit more in depth about the Micah Hudson aspect of things in terms of him skipping his official visit to Texas this upcoming weekend. So if you want to hear more in depth and me answering a little bit more of the questions that people had surrounding it, be sure to go check out the last live video on the channel. I'll even link it in the comments below as well if you want to check that out. But let's jump into it in terms of, hey, you're here for just a couple of minutes. You want to know what's going on the Micah Hudson front. This is what we've got. He will indeed be skipping his official visit to Texas this weekend. Instead, he will be going to play a 7-on-7 tournament with his Lake Belton High School teammates in College Station. And now if you look at social media, and I get it, it's not the be-all, end-all of things, right? But it's interesting to see that on Twitter, it's all Texas Tech. On Instagram, it's all Texas when it comes to Micah Hudson, right? It's interesting how he's trolling both of the fan bases, and personally, I'm all here for it. I think it's awesome. Do what you want to do in terms of that. This is his recruitment, right? And when it all comes down to it as well, this is going to be a Texas Tech and Texas battle. No other schools are really in the running like these two right now. And if you listen to national experts in terms of the recruiting aspects of things, they are saying right now that Texas Tech is currently in the lead for Micah Hudson to land his commitment. Now, I will say this as well. Let's say Micah Hudson commits hypothetically to Texas Tech in the summer. It's going to still be a recruiting process to get him to sign that NLI on the dotted line later on in the year. This is going to be a recruitment until the 11th hour and 59 minutes mark. Period. End of story. That's just how it's going to be. But Texas Tech will be firmly in that mix until the very end, and they have a legit shot at landing a top 10 overall player in the class of 2024 and the number 2 overall wide receiver in the class. He would obviously be the highest rated recruit that Texas Tech has ever landed, and the Red Raiders are firmly in the mix for him. Simple and plain. But the big news for Micah Hudson on his recruiting front is that he will be skipping his official visit down to the University of Texas this weekend and instead going to play in a 7-on-7 tournament with his Lake Belton High School teammates in College Station. All right, before we get to more info in terms of Texas Tech and more really what's going on in terms of the national media kind of buying into that buzz on Texas Tech, I got to say this. Comment MH down in the comments below if you think Texas Tech will land Micah Hudson. Again, comment MH if you think Texas Tech will land Micah Hudson and a commitment from him. It's a long ways away in terms of actually officially getting him on campus, but a commitment would go a long way for Texas Tech. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's jump into CBS and their Texas Tech prediction, right? You got Shehan Jeyarajah right here with each win that Texas Tech will have, his prediction, and each loss Texas Tech will have, okay? So you see at the bottom of the screen right now, Texas Tech's win total over-under is set at 7.5 wins. You taking the over, the under, let me know in the comments below. Shehan is taking the over. And these are the wins and losses that they have, and I'll have the link to this full article down in the comments below so you can go read it for yourself. But he has Texas Tech beating Wyoming, Oregon, Tarleton, West Virginia, Houston, K-State, TCU, at Kansas, and UCF. The only 3 losses are on the road, all 3 games, and they are at Baylor, BYU, and Texas. Overall, he has the Red Raiders going 9-3 on the season. And listen, there's a lot of buzz about Texas Tech nationally right now, and some people are wondering why, and I get it. If you don't pay attention to Texas Tech, on a daily basis of what it seems, right? But you look at Texas Tech, and I'm trying to think of the last time this has happened, and I really can't think of it, where they had 16 returning starters out of 22 from both sides of the football, not to mention Austin McNamara at the punter position. But you look at what Texas Tech is bringing back and what they improved on, right? The offensive line got better. You got Rusty Stats and you got Cole Spencer added to it now, and you got Monroe Mills and Caleb Rogers in better spots, I think, positionally for them on the offensive line, as well as Dennis Wilburn, who really is more of an interior lineman, played well last year, arguably was Tech's best offensive lineman last year was Dennis Wilburn at the center position. He now shifts to right guard with Rusty Stats taking over the main guy at the center position for the Red Raiders. But you think about what is going on in terms of expectations. And Shehan even said this: expectations are off the charts for Joey McGuire's program in year 2. Let's add some fuel to the fire. A week 2 matchup against Oregon ranks as a historic prove-it opportunity for the Red Raiders, especially as former Pac-12 champion quarterback Tyler Shuck expects to take the field against his old squad. He finishes the article by saying this, or the little blurb about Texas Tech. In June, Texas Tech looks like the team ready to ride the wave in the Big 12. So, again, I will ask you this. He has them going 9-3. The win total out in Vegas is set at 7.5. Are you taking the over or under when it comes to 7.5 wins for the Red Raiders in 2023? For me, I'll be honest with you, it's pretty simple. I am taking the over 7.5. I think Texas Tech wins at least 8 games this year in the regular season. And really, if everything goes right, you could be talking about a team that's 10-2 playing for a chance to win the Big 12 title in Arlington. And I think that's very possible. Now, is it the most likely aspect? Probably not. But I do think Texas Tech has the roster, the coaching staff, and the capabilities of doing just that. All right, let's talk about the Texas Tech football 2024 recruiting class rankings and updates, both 24/7 and Rivals. I have both of those links as well down in the comments below if you want to go look in terms of, hey, what are these guys ranked differently in terms of stars for each respective player on each site. I've got it both down below. 24/7 has Texas Tech 19th in the country in terms of best recruiting class, while Rivals has the Red Raiders at 23rd. Either way you look at it, even if you like 24/7 more, Rivals more, On 3, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Texas Tech has a real opportunity to have the best recruiting class that this program has ever had, right? Like, there is a real opportunity to have a class that's ranked in the top 15, if not higher, if you land the likes of Micah Hudson and a couple of other guys, right? Because who knows the domino effect that happens if you land Micah Hudson. So you really look at what Texas Tech has right now, and this is going to be a smaller class. Joe McGuire has said that. I've said that a couple times in other videos as well. This is probably going to be that 16 to 18 recruit range in terms of this class for Texas Tech. It's just the scholarship they have available, with a lot of guys coming back next year, right? Or at least have eligibility for next year. So you look at it, and Texas Tech is in a really good spot to have an historic class in 2024. And right now they are well on their way to doing so. And if Micah Hudson happens, oh, look out. You could be talking about a top 15, top 12 class potentially, with that domino effect that could follow if he does have a commitment to the Red Raiders. All right, before we get out of here, I need you to answer these 2 questions down below for me. Again, comment MH if you think Texas Tech will land Micah Hudson and a commitment from him, right? Just let me know. Comment his initials, MH, down in the comments below. And then one more time, will Texas Tech go over or under their projected 7.5 wins as CBS Shehan has them going 9-3? Let me know your record prediction, and if you have Texas Tech going over or under 7.5 wins this season. I am RC Maxfield, reminding you, if you want the latest Texas Tech football news and rumors and breaking news all year long, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the know right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.